Hi everyone, welcome to Project Risk Management Assignment. Today I'll be talking about Jangkrik Complex Project which took place in Kalimantan, Indonesia, and the owner of the project is a joint venture between JX Nippon Oil and Energy Corporation Japan and ENI Muara Bakau, Indonesia, and the main contractor was Offshore, Singapore. Moving forward, Jangkrik project is a joint venture between JX Nippon Oil and Energy Corporation and ENI Oil and Energy Indonesia. This whole project is worth of $2 billion. The Jangkrik project involves the combined development of two gas fields, Jangkrik and Jangkrik North East, referred to as jointly as the Jangkrik Complex. This whole project is about installation of pipelines, risers, flow lines, and offshore receiving facilities, installation of umbilical, manifolds, jumpers, and subsea control system. ENI is focused on continuous growth based on exploration and the creation of long-term value for a future in which everyone can have efficient and sustainable access to energy. It has embarked on an energy transition towards a low-carbon future that gives natural gas a central role alongside the growing development of renewable resources. It also helps to estimate the use of more polluting fossil fuels such as coal, which is responsible for more than 70% of CO2 emission in electricity sector. Moving forward, in every project, there is always a risk associated together with it. In such situation, these risks may pose potential hazard in terms of positive and negative impact to the project objective. As such, it is very important to identify the possible risks within the project to minimize the risk impact on the project deliverables. For Jangkrik projects, there are few risks associated together, which is quality, technical or performance risk, financial risk, environmental risk, design and construction risk, contractual risk, policy and political risk. Speaking about technical risk, it's mostly related to client interference, poor quality of procured materials or material shortage, errors in designing drawings, design changes in different stages, proposed materials are not approved. Moving forward to financial risk, whereby material costs higher than the predictable ones, lack of financial allocation for project, effect of fluctuation of inflation rate on purchasing power of contractor, delay in auditing and payment contractors provisional monthly statements, financial allocation more than cash flow balance. Speaking about environmental risks, pollution such as dust, harmful gases, noises, solid and liquid waste, lack of observation towards a safety measure and OSC by contractor, delay in receiving information from consultant, poor relationship of professional staff to each other such as consultant and architecture, lack of sufficient research of type of work, season of the year and place of construction site. Design and construction risk, whereby it delays in imparting work orders correctively and on time, project extension of time because of changes, delay in confirmation and approval of project, failure to construct program and specification, changes in ground specification or inadequate investigation. Moving to contractual risk is unfair or unreasonable stipulation, unambiguous clauses that have several meanings, work condition that differs from the contract, extent of work differ from contract. Last but not least, policy and political risk. Unstable company politics, priority of level of work of project because of financial issues, variation of managerial level, procedure for approval and permit, financial resources from the project to one another. And it is very important for a designing response planning based on the risk that is associated, because risk is everywhere and it's uncertain, but there is where some of the risks you plan do happen, and that's where all the contingency plans comes up. There are three main phases in designing the response planning: input, tools and techniques, output. When you're talking about tools, we are talking about risk management plan, list of prioritized risk, risk ranking of the project, probability of achieving of cost, time and objective, list of potential response, risk threshold, risk owner, common risk causes, trends, inequality risk, analysis result. When we're talking about tools and techniques, we're talking about avoid, we mitigate with transference and acceptance. Last but not least, the output. The output shall be the risk response plan, residual risk, secondary risk, contractual agreement, contingency reserve amounts needed, input to other processes, input to revised project plan. This slide explains about framework of risk response planning. Step 1, building a project risk network, whereby you have a risk identification, you have a risk interaction, you have a risk assessment, and you will build a risk propagation model. From there, you will move forward defining what's the objective function. Step 3, you will define or you identify the budget constraint. Step 4, you identify the potential response action, such as the project risk analysis and prioritization, design risk response action, and evaluate the cost of response action. Step 5, optimizing the risk response and the project risk response plan. Review of risk response planning. Okay, risk response is very important for a project. Thus, the data collected during the risk response planning is very important to be documented for future undertakings. Data collected shall be used in terms of helping to reduce costs, mitigate a similar risk if associated, realistic within the project context, and accepted by all parties. So there are 3 phases of documentation to mitigate the risk from reoccurring. We have a historical database, current project database, post-project review and archive. Historical database refers to data collected from past projects which has similar risks associated with the current project. And this data is very important to mitigate the current project risk. For current project database, it is very important to document every single risk associated which was identified earlier prior to the start of project, as this helps to reduce the time and cost. Last but not least, the post-project review and archive is crucial for future undertaking projects, as it helps project manager to evaluate the similar risk prior to any project. An organization may develop a corporate risk memory where risk data is put away, as well as lesson learned exercises about viability of reaction techniques and elements that influence the risk outcomes. Thus, in a nutshell, every project is prone to risk, and the risk eventually can jeopardize the project objective. Same goes to Jangkrik project. There are many hurdles during the project completion, and each hurdle is reviewed in a careful manner to ensure the project success. It is very important to learn what facilitates the risk, and a risk response planning shall be in place to ensure any risk associated shall be mitigated. History database and current project database are very important and shall be documented to ensure save in cost and time towards project completion. So, thank you everyone for those who have been involved throughout this project, and yeah, that's all. Thank you.